Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man Network Transmission. In the last part, we took care of the bank stage and fought off Quickman and some force beams. In between parts, as usual, I got myself up to max on his Navi chip as well as some quick boomerangs because I like those a lot more than his actual Navi chip. So now it's time for us to grab some more unlockers because we have two new stages we can tackle at this point. The arcade and the power plant. And we're going after the arcade first because this stage is not only the easier of the two I find, but has some pretty good rewards in it that I'll talk about as we go through. Also an annoyingly catchy song. In fact, this is like the song I think about whenever I think about this game, just because it's so goofy at the start, but it becomes genuinely good. Also, I wonder who that is on the right. We haven't seen them before, huh? Lan, look at this Navi! Alrighty, who should I play a joke on today? Maybe I'll just set the difficulty setting on that game way up. Or maybe I'll set that couple's game not to count the coins. Colorman? What's an X-World 3 Navi doing here? Huh? No! Megaman! You failed me! Time to go! And then he just walks off slowly. He ran away! That must mean he's done something he doesn't want us to know about. I agree. Chad was talking about some World 3 plot, too. Mega Man. We've got to follow Colorman. There might be a clue. Got it. I don't know, guys. I think he was kind of upfront about what he was doing there. He's just seemingly messing with the arcade games. So the major unique mechanic of the arcade computer isn't until the second computer, but what is notable is that there's actually a lot of new enemies here, namely higher variants of ones we've already seen before. B-Tank 2s, Metar 2s, Canodum 2s. Land, this lock is really secure. Double protection. I guess we'll need two kinds of passcodes. There must be two kinds of passcodes in this area. Let's find them. So we need to explore this entire map to find the two codes for that. There's one on the right in the red, one on the left in the blue. Now, I've generally been doing a good job about showing off my library at the end of any given stage just to show what I've got in the LP thus far. But I should note right now, I actually come back to the stage a lot between this recording and the next, and even after that, because for one thing, all the Zenny drops in this stage, by and large, in the field itself and even from enemies, are usually silver, which means this is the best place to grind Zenny in the game at this point. But also because I need a lot of battleships from here between parts, because I like specifically the Canodum 2's High Cannon and the Metar 2's Sonic Wave for my folder. I think I used the Sonic Wave, just replacing the Shock Wave, whereas I have both the Cannon and the High Cannons in my folder by the next part or so. There's the fire code. That's one of the two passcodes we need. We just need to head back up that large vertical S section and then head left to get the other one. Also, that red enemy we saw a moment ago, that was a Buffy. They are the Fire Elemental Puffies from the Waterworks stage. They do notably have a chip, the Heat Spread chip. You can get that now, or you can get it from certain other viruses down the line that are a lot quicker to run into, even if they have more health. Now, I've already grinded for double jump battleships, of course, but if there's any point you should go do that before, it's before now, because the stages moving forward are going to require it a lot more often to get blue mystery data. You never technically need it in order to get through the game's platforming. But in order to get a lot of the blue mystery data and other items, you do need it. So just go get that, make it your regular chip. Again, it's just that handy, either for survivability's sake in the case of some tougher platforming, or just for getting items along the way. Got a little bit of an uncomfortable jump right here especially, but you need to do that because not only is there a Puffy here, which, hey, if you want to get Bubble Spread, not a bad place to get it. This is where we get ourselves the Aqua Code. We have both passwords. Now we can go back to those cubes and get through to Arcade Computer 2. Because of the damage values of chips you can grab around this point, on top of your Buster getting better, on top of the amount of HP memories and power-ups you've gotten, I'd say this is the point in the game where if you've made it here, you're not going to have many problems with the actual levels moving forward. Especially considering we're past Quickman stage, which I'd argue is the hardest stage in the game. There's still bosses that can cause problems, but if you've made it this far, the rest should be relatively comfortable, even if you don't do any more chip grinding. So, Arcade Computer 2 is where the actual gimmick for this stage is, and it's largely optional too. Though another shout out to a classic Mega Man enemy coming up here. We have a returning enemy from Metal Man stage in Mega Man 2, the Pyrobots. They are actually made up of two parts, just like in Mega Man 2, the ball and the actual Pyro. And they notably have both the Recover 80 battle chip and the Repair battle chip, so if you want more uses of that for some reason, here you can get them. So the main thing this stage has now is it's gonna have sort of a pinball table with bumpers. If you hold the jump button on those, you do jump extraordinarily high to the point where you can reach a lot of Zenny very quickly, but you need to be careful. There are some spikes up here that can surprise you and probably not instant kill you at this point, but still take a good chunk of your health off, so be careful. This is the place I do a lot of Zenny grinding in the game, just jacking in and out of this computer over and over again to get these over and over again. It goes by pretty good. But what's also notable about this area is there is 2 teleporters out of here, technically 3 I guess counting the entrance. One to the far right, which is where the boss is. One to the left where we entered from. But then on the top right of the map, there is a unique teleporter you never even need to access in order to get 100%. But if you're going for true 100% where you get every chip maxed, I'm not doing that in this LP, by the way. Because to my knowledge, and hey, if I'm wrong about this, tell me and I'll make a bonus video. You don't get any reward, be it even text saying congratulations for maxing out every battle chip. You technically don't get anything as well for getting the library done or the program advance memo done, but I'm just doing that because at least I see a number go up. Up there is a slot machine. And I need to actually jack out and jack back in to get in there because I used my double jumps too quickly, but we're not going to spend a lot of time in there anyway. It works like your average slot machine. There are 3 rollers that can show several different pictures. If you get the same ones 3 in a row, you get some battle chip pools depending on what you roll. There's a Metar, a Bunny, a Roll, and a Lucky 7 and a Mega Man head. The Metar and Bunny share the same chip set of about 29, 30 chips or so. The Roll head is notable in that it's the only place you can get extra roll chips if you're trying to max out that Navi chip. You get a lot of level 2 battle chips for that as well, like high cannons, Raton 2s, and all that. Lucky 7 and Mega Man heads also share a lot of the same battle chips, but there are some that are apparently exclusive to each. There's a lot that you can get there, and you can spend a lot of time there and probably get a lot of your library filled out if you just spend a lot of Zenny there. But I don't care to do that because there's just more consistent ways to get basically any other battle chip except for Roll. But hey, if you have the extra Zenny, feel free to spend some time there. You'll probably get some things for your folder a little early. Just good luck getting the same things over and over again to the point where you can use them reliably in your folder, but oh well. And now we're good to head to the boss fight. And I've actually already gotten a good enough setup here for battle chips for the boss, so we're good to go no matter what, barring me getting my MP back up. This is a boss fight that can be a little troublesome on a first run, but honestly, it's probably one of my favorite boss fights in the game, just in terms of dodging some actual attacks. Bring whatever you got that's high damage, and especially maybe a little higher in the range, and you should be fine. Colorman, we got you now. You! I should have known I couldn't shake you, Mega Man! Give it up, come on out with it. What are you planning? Since I can't shake you, I might as well get my revenge for last time. I've had a few upgrades of my own since we last met. Go ahead and try it. Mega Man, battle routine set. Execute. So, Colorman's a little troublesome to start because you actually can only damage the top of his character model. The ball at the bottom is a separate hitbox that takes no damage. So do little short hops and then fire if you have range attacks and you should be fine. Swords are a little harder to hit here. His main attack is just bouncing his ball in a couple of separate ways. He could go for a high bounce that will just kind of go up and down. He can go for a low one that'll bounce around the ground. That one's especially hard to get around. He does still have, I think, his fire and ice tower attacks where he can send waves of fire or water at you, but it doesn't happen often enough. Well, Colorman, how you like them apples? Oh, all right. Sorry for messing around with the arcade already. Lately, Mad's been totally ignoring me, so I got bored. Mad? Is that your operator? Yeah, so give me a break already, okay? So you don't have anything to do with World 3 or the Zero virus? Well, 3's gone already, isn't it? And Zero virus? What's that? Never heard of it. Land, looks like we're barking up the wrong tree. Okay, Mega Man, I guess so. Let's jack out. Yeah, let's look somewhere else. Comedy bit? Colorman's weapon chip that we got there is, I think, just Color Ball. It's pretty good. It bounces pretty unpredictably because it depends on terrain, but it can do a lot of damage pretty quickly to some smaller enemies. I do prefer his Navi chip, though. I have used this battle chip in my main folder and gotten pretty good results from it, though, so I can recommend it for that. Right now, let's go read the email. Program Advances. Special, the PA. PA stands for Program Advance, which is a phenomenon that occurs when a specific chip combination is sent to a Navi all at once. For example, if you send the Cannon, High Cannon, and M Cannon, a Program Advance will turn your Navi invincible for a time and let your Navi fire the Zeta Cannon as much as he wants. There are many other PA combinations, so experiment with them. Oh boy. Lan, you ignored all my warnings and stuck your nose in, didn't you? I won't criticize you, but you really shouldn't involve yourself too deeply. I think there's a lot going on here. It feels dangerous. If you don't want to get Mega Man deleted, you should withdraw. Now! If you don't get Mega Man deleted, you should... Yeah, we can handle this, Chad. We've done this technically 3 times now, even though one of them hasn't happened yet in the canon. Alright, so I forget if it happens after your first stage of this set or when this set opens up, but Higsby does have more merch now, and I especially recommend the Cold Punch battle chip a lot for anything coming up, because it's a good power water chip, and while there's a lot of those, I like the punches a lot for a Program Advance that kind of already keys in with another one I have in my folder anyway. For now, though, let's go take care of Colorman in the Net Battle Simulator. Even with unpredictable chipsets, this isn't a 2-battle fight, especially if you've gotten your Buster highly powered enough at this point. If there's something I can say about Colorman's attacks that's kind of hard to dodge, is that he's hard to dodge if you're really close to him. Because especially if he does the low bounce with his ball, it's kind of hard to jump over that in time unless you're really good at reflexes. On top of that, I'm actually not sure about one thing with his tower attack he can do, which I think is actually mostly a fire tower attack now that I think about it. In that I'm not sure if it goes out at a consistent rate or if it gets further from him each time he uses it exponentially. And because of that, I can never predict how I'm going to dodge that when it actively happens. That is when he does it, because honestly, he just tends to stick with the ball bounces for the most part. And that's what his Net Navi chip is. It is the color ball, but he himself spawns it, and it goes on for a good while. It does, again, depend on your terrain, but it's a fast, I think, 100 damage. So having that around, even if it's a pretty expensive chip, is pretty nice. That's a Net Navi chip I have in my folder for, by and large, the rest of the game. A part of that is, admittedly, is that it's one of the few Navi chips I find is also very useful against smaller enemies en masse. Because things that hit the entire screen, like Brightman, yes, do hit the entire screen, but they don't do enough damage for me to feel like it's worth it. While Colorman can hit enemies low to the ground and hit them hard, and I like that a lot. That's what our library is looking like at this point, by the way. So now we're not going to go to the next stage yet. I actually want to jack into the internet for 2 things. For one thing, I want to go hit up Numberman's shop and do some stuff there. But also, a few stages back at the Waterworks, we got the EX code hint 1, which told us to use the repair battle chip somewhere on the internet, and I think it's time we go do that one at the least. And in order to do that, we need to head into Den Area 1. The wording of these hints are vague on purpose because there's not many areas that can actually hide them. But we want to use double jump to get up here at the end of Den Area 1. As soon as my MP gets high enough. There we go. So let's take a look at the exact wording of the EX code hint. The last place you first went to, repair from high up. So we are at the very end of Den Area 1, the first place we went to, and we're high up, so let's use repair. That is an EX code, which is something you use in the mod tools section of the Navi Customizer in Battle Network 3 to give Mega Man extra effects. Getting a little ahead of ourselves because I haven't redone that LP yet, but that one in specific, I believe, gives you 800 extra HP, but makes it so that when you step off of a panel, it becomes a swamp panel that does poison damage over time. For now, we're back at the outer net because it's time for us to do some shopping at Higsby's because I did a lot of Zenny grinding off screen at Colorman stage if memory serves. Let's see, how much do I got now? 26,000, yeah, it's a good amount. So we're gonna buy the last power up he has and then I guess some extra memory ups and HP memories. Like Higsby though, once you've cleared the first set of actual stages, Numberman does have some extra battle chips. I'm particularly picking up the Silver Fist line and all of the Tornado type chips, Tornado, Twister, and Blower. Those I think all do the same thing, I just don't tend to use it a lot. I think it just spawns a tornado a short distance away from you, unless it does move away from you slowly as you use it. That does multiple lower power hits to enemies. I don't like them a lot though in any of the games, but I might as well grab them from my library and use that power up to finally max out my attack stat. So now my Buster does a lot of damage. It's now a very reliable attack method against viruses at the least. Not so much boss fights unless you max out your charge stat, but we're getting there, we're getting there. So at this point, we're by and large good to enter the next stage, the power plant. Just make sure you have the right amount of unlockers, which I think you need 1 or 2. But also, if you're playing along, make sure you get repair out of your folder if you did that code, even though it's the same code no matter what, because you're not going to really need that moving forward, borrowing the other EX codes as well. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 8, we're heading after the power plant. See you guys then.